Today, I want to talk about a very large issue around live shopping and buyers that are very addictive and have addictive behaviors and can get caught up in a game of gambling their entire life savings away. It happens more than often than you really think. I have a lot of experience in doing auctions, estate sales, thrift shopping, and running an antique booth. I've seen all kinds of addicts, collectors. I have sold tons of collections over the last 15 years. Collections of watches, fishing items, military memorabilia, purses, you name it, grandfather clocks. And each category of collector brings out some really batshit crazy people. And when you go to an estate sale and they say, oh, we have collectors of sewing stuff, of Hummels, maybe firearms. I live in Oklahoma, and so these are the things that you have to take into consideration when you take an estate sale. Am I going to need a sheriff? Am I going to need several sheriffs? Am I going to need, lots of ladies around that can deal with other ladies? Because I am not fit to handle all those kinds of people all the time, because I am not everyone's person. And there are some times where I'm just like, I am not putting up with this shit, because I know the kind of people that are going to be coming to this estate sale, the kind of collectors, the kind of buyers, the kind of resellers that are going to be here, and I'm not going to put up with it. So these are kind of situations in my life and career that I have seen addicts. Now, addicts are people that can't afford it, people that can't afford it. You've got pay later, buy now kind of items now. And we've got live selling. So you've got people that were addicted to eBay back in the early 90s. That was my grandma. My grandma was also addicted to watching as seen on TV commercials. My grandma was also a consumer of QVC and HSN. You didn't really think it was at home until you listen to, someone speaking that you'd heard for years in the background with QVC or HSN. The new Diamonique collection is coming out. The new Technobond gold jewelry line is coming out. And these are all early 2000s kind of celebration sales where you'd gather in people that could not access the internet yet or didn't have a way to purchase. It was by phone. And people would sit in front of their TVs during the evening, before bed, in bed, while in bed, before TV was shut off, they would fall asleep. So they would sleep to QVC and HSN. Very addictive, habitual behaviors. And this is where I get into shopping and talking about live sales and where it comes into play. Live sales started to really take off in the United States about 4 years ago. Right before COVID, it really started to get a little bit of, traction. And now we're about 5 years into it, and people are still getting their technology right. I say people, I mean companies such as eBay, Whatnot, Poshmark. Those companies are trying to get their act together to get this technology good enough and addictive enough that you will come back again and again and again and again. It works. It does work. And for those that have the money, that are older, that have a lot of time and a lot of cash, it becomes addicting, and you can spend your entire retirement on whatever it is that you're collecting at that time. Especially if you find yourself falling for a host or falling for somebody that is going live. And I've experienced this behind the screen. I've experienced people that would come into my show, and still do come into my show every single day, because they have formed a parasocial relationship with me, whether I like it or not. And as much as I have pushed back on people trying to have that kind of relationship with me, there are lots of lonely people out there. And watching on YouTube is one thing. That's completely normal. I want you to consume content on YouTube. That's what YouTube is for. But when you go into a live show and you go there every single day and you interact with the host, it's very similar to a TikTok live behavior where they're encouraging you to, tap, 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 tap the screen, y'all. Tap, 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 tap the screen. Send me a galaxy. Can we get all my heart me's? Please heart me up there. And these are the things that are programmed into all of these creators on TikTok. This is just TikTok. We're not talking about the live selling aspect ranges where we've got giveaways, we've got $1 auctions, we've got freebies. And then you start to get addicted into this little community that is a little mini cult if you really want to go there. Because when you start talking about some of these live sellers, it's just like YouTube. You've got people that come in and they will defend that person to the death of them. They will spend their entire retirement in that show. They will go broke supporting that host. And it is a one-way street to being broke, and it's a one-way highway because that host cannot be best friends with 350 people in their show every single day. That person cannot remember every single person that shops with them because you have so many people that come to a show and you start building this bond. People start getting their feelings hurt. People start getting jealous. It's ridiculous. I have seen it on both sides of the screen. I have bonded with sellers before on the other side of the screen. I have trusted sellers because other people trusted sellers, and I watched them, and I've been burned. I've had experiences where I didn't like the host once I really started watching every single day, because when you spend more time with more people, you really get an idea of things that they might do, corners they might cut. Maybe they've got dirty ass house. Maybe they, are, showing too much about their personal life. And this is something that happens on TikTok as a normal creator, where you've got somebody literally in a muumuu in their kitchen, busting out some eggs, and the titties are flopping everywhere. You got, eyelashes that are from 2 nights ago that are coming up off the eyelids. And you've got guys on TikTok that have just woke up in their boxers with their dick flopping. I mean, it's very, very intriguing to sit there and look and be like, oh my God, what is going on? We're literally having eggs with his eggs right now, But when you get into a live show, TikTok is meant to be consumed. TikTok is specifically programmed to get you addicted, to make you feel like you're in someone's life with them. And then you add that live selling aspect to it. And it is weird. It gets really weird. If the more you get into it, the more you start to see that people are there for you. They are consumed for you. And you could be selling, piles of dog shit to some of the people that are going live on TikTok or in these live shows. People will buy hot, steaming piles of dog shit as long as Jimmy Joe Bob is showing it, because Jimmy Joe Bob, oh my God, I just love her. I just love Jimmy Joe Bob. She's beautiful. I love her soul. She's a beautiful soul. I can see her soul. And it's like, but you can see her soul? You can. You can't see her soul. She didn't even know that you're in the show right now, baby. So, I mean, I'm glad that you've got your parasocial relationship, and if you feel comfortable, that's all that matters. But just spend as much money as you'd like, baby, because I'm sure she's going to send you a Christmas card. I'm sure she'll invite you to her wedding. Yeah, I'm sure she will, some random fucking stranger that lives, 14 states away that she's, seen in her live show for 14 hours. And this is the problem with live shows. Expectations start beginning. And then it's, well, you didn't say hi to me. Why you didn't say hi to me? In live shows. I am such a business person and such a person that I'm here to educate a customer. I would prefer to educate a customer when they come in rather than come in and be like, oh yeah, well, here's this bag. It's a really great discount. You want this bag? Oh, you do? Okay, well, it'll be on sale for 25% off for 5 seconds. We got 5 seconds more. We got 5 seconds more. If you want it, go ahead and buy there. Buy. Go down their screen and buy it. You can put on payments. You can do whatever you want to. Because this is the way that some people get into a situation, is that pressure. And I don't like to be a high pressure salesperson. In the very beginning, when I was selling live, I was doing it by auction, $1 auctions. And $1 auctions, anybody can play. People have to be responsible, obviously, to play. And some people aren't responsible at all to play. And they have buyer's remorse. You've got canceled orders. You've got, he said, she said, hey, she was bidding just to bid me. I would bid, but that person always outbids me. It's like, once you start having feelings like that, you've been going to the show for too fucking long. There would be fights in the chat from people getting pissed off. It's like, wow, every time I want to bid, you bid me up. Like, are they paying? And it gets so personal. But if you were at a real auction, you would not act like that. You would see a person bidding and you wouldn't have that confrontation. When you go to a real auction, It's not like, oh, high fives and hey man with chest bumps and shit like that. No, not at all. It's maybe a subtle wave and you're like, oh fuck, Frank's here. You know, shit, I saw the old Ford back there. He's probably going to bid us up all the items. You know, maybe wink at him, you know, be nice to him. But you're not going to be throwing fists in the chat to someone that's, you know, that's probably going to outbid you. I've been that person at an auction where I know, oh fuck, well they're probably going to hate me because I just showed up today. You know, the white Lexus is here, so we know that he's probably going to outbid us. I've been that person. I've also been that person that got emotionally involved. And, you know, it's like, I know you're going to try to bid me up, so I don't really give a fuck. Like, I'll just hold my number up. Here we go. And, you know, the person's looking back at me like, you know, fuck you. You know, that's normal behavior at an auction. But you don't get attached to the auctioneer. And the auctioneer is the live host in this situation. When you go to a real auction, the auctioneer is normally married. And here in Oklahoma, shit, the wife of the auctioneer is probably the one doing all the accounting right now. So she's paying attention to you whether or not you're gawking and oodling at her man. But that's not how live shows are. People come into the live show and they start building personas for you. They start building a life for you and them more closer together. I have seen some creepy ass shit, cringy ass shit in a live show. And I normally try to get rid of those people. People that come in every single day and they don't buy anything. People that come in and they just watch. Because you're not paid in a live show by having the most amount of people in your room. People are so misguided when they think that the more people I have in the room is the better. And the only situation that is the case is if you're doing an auction. If you're not doing auctions, there's no reason to have 300 people in a room. I've sold a $10,000, $15,000 bag with 4 people in my room. 4 qualified buyers. If you take a step back and you think, okay, when you're in a live show, if you were one person in a retail store, how many people could you possibly accurately help at one time? Me, I'm pretty good. I can help about 3 people at one time, but it's going to be in rounds. So in my mind, I put them on like a sliding scale, right? A sliding, you know, what am I talking about? You know, a turntable. So it's like, I'm going to tell this person, I'm going to go talk to this person, I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to help this person, But I'm going to let each one of them know, look, I'm helping all of y'all right now. So I'm the only one available, so I'm doing the best I can. So please don't get angry with me. But I'm trying to be as organized as possible. If I need to write something down, I will. I'll be right back with you, okay? And you, this is what we need to do with you right now. This is what I would recommend. And you, ma'am, over here, please. I know you're getting distracted, but I can only help you with this item right here at one time. This is the one we're talking about. I'm welcome you to go browse while I'm helping this gentleman, but I just want to let you know. When you are live, though, you can't help that many people at one time. It just becomes to where you need another arm. So if you've got 300 people in a room, that requires you to do so much more in a live show than it would if there was only 4 people. And it's so intimidating for most of those 300 people because they know that they're never going to be able to see, they're never going to be able to get helped. They're going to have to ask, hey, can I see that? Can I see that? Hey, can I see that? Like 5 million times in a live show. And then because they brought attention to that item, you've got 300 people in a show that are going to be like, oh, I want that too. 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 How many times have you bet on an item that somebody else requested because you didn't want to request it, because you don't want to bring any attention to it? This is the shit that goes on in a live show. And so you got to be careful not to form unhealthy relationships with these live hosts. Step back a bit and remind yourself that this person is running a business. It's not an obligation of a live seller to entertain you. And if you don't show interest in buying, you could be blocked. You could be ignored until you buy. Unless you actually are a sure thing, it's very difficult to give everyone the same amount of attention. These are kind of some of the things that I was inspired to talk about this morning. It's just some of the unhealthy relationships that I see that people attach themselves to. Your energy, personality. They want to have proximity to you and your success and or your passion, but they're not customers. It is a weird dynamic with live sales. If you were running a talk show, any kind of other business, it would be a good thing. But when you've got 600 people, 500 people, 300 people in a show, and no one's there to buy, I've seen so many hosts crash out. Me being one of it too. I mean, like, look, there's 170 people in this room right now. Before I shut the camera off and take a break, is there anyone here to buy today? Did I miss anyone? And it's just crickets. Okay. And then, depending on what platform you're on, you can go back and see how long someone watched you. You can see how habitually they watch you. You can see if they follow you. You can see all kinds of stuff. And I will go back in my lives and I will go back on the platforms that I can and see who continually comes to my show, who is not converting, who is watching and stalking. And you will be surprised when you start doing that to see how many of your competitors are sitting there watching you, consuming everything that you do, they're also messaging people in your show, be like, hey, did you see that bag? I saw you comment on that bag. I could get that bag for you for free. Or it could be anything that you sell. Maybe sell cards, maybe sell clothes, maybe sell shoes. Maybe you're a high-end designer seller and you're really sloppy. It's so easy to get into someone else's live and start soliciting them and start wanting their customers. Why do you think so many people moderate for large shows? Because they want a piece of that success. They want the notoriety. It is something for them to do. And depending on who your moderator is, I mean, it could be a really bad thing for you. Now, I did talk about my moderators and moderators, period, that have been around and have caused issues, people have complained about. That was on TikTok. At some point or another, I'll address moderators too, and how they can really be a very, very harmful thing to your business. And turn off customers. Turn off customers before you even know it, because a moderator can answer things quicker than you can sometimes. And so these things are coming up. I hope you guys have a really wonderful day. If this resonated with anything that I've said has resonated with you today, make sure you follow. If you have a comment of a habitual crazy person that watches you, or if you are that habitual crazy person, you can also leave a comment down below. And I hope that you start behaving more healthy for both you and the host. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Toodles.